Joining me live now is Professor Joesph Siracusa, Dean of Global Futures at Curtin University. Joe, thank you for your time. With these developments, the Wagner Group, they're threatening to make their way over to Moscow now. What do you believe will eventuate in the next 24 to 48 hours?
Good afternoon. Well, there's not much in my life that surprises me. I've been around for the whole Cold War and the post-Cold War. This surprised me. What we have here is a major component of the Russian fighting machine in Ukraine, which has turned about and is now marching to Moscow, and it's moved into the area outside of Ukraine to the main fortress or the main base that supplies the war, and not a shot was fired. So what we're looking at here is a tragedy of Shakespearean proportions. You know, we got Julius Caesar is under attack, and I'm just sort of knocked over by President Putin's response. You know, the classic lines: "You've stabbed me in the back, and nobody will be unpunished." This is straight out of Stalin's playbook, as a matter of fact, and he's taking it very seriously. Look, there's going to be a lot of problems here. You know, there is a reason why the atomic clock is 90 seconds to midnight. And there'll be people in the West, and I'm talking about the Poles and the Balts and the others, who are dying to get into Ukraine with ground troops, dying to put in those F-16s, and they're dying to bring Ukraine into NATO. They're going to say that this is our moment. There's probably a 48, 72-hour window. Keep in mind, you know, look at it, America had a Chinese balloon over America, and the leadership melted. I mean, Putin's either going to be stronger when this is over, or he's going to be gone from the scene. But I believe that in the West, there'll be enormous pressure to take advantage of this opening. And I think this is, I've seen this, of course, at the end of the Cold War. We had tanks in Moscow and came out in Boris Yeltsin's favor. But these are very serious players. And this guy who runs the Wagner Group, he's not a very pleasant character, as a matter of fact. You know, he wasn't trained in the niceties of officers' school or anything. He's on the march. He has the loyalty of thousands and thousands of people. He says he was double-crossed and his men were killed in Ukraine through the ignorance of the Russian defense minister, and he's gone after him. And of course, what really troubles me is a lot of these guys look like criminal elements. And so now we have criminal elements who are going to go toe-to-toe with the legitimate head of Russia right now. So we got criminal elements, we got former military people, and we got a war in the rearview mirror. And of course, he said that the war was illegitimate, that these people were trying to enrich themselves. So he's created another narrative. But I would say, if I were a NATO advisor or a NATO commander, I would have my bags packed, because I think we're going to have enormous pressure within 48 hours to do something, because there's just too much pressure not to do something.